Hello there, I'm Lisette Martinez. Welcome to another episode of At the Edge of It All, the Athletics Edge. We are here with our new head basketball coach, JR Blount. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here to talk all things basketball. I know you're a busy man, and I really appreciate the time to introduce you to our San Diego community and beyond, and to get to know you a little bit more and obviously your team.
Thank you.
So, first things first, let's set the stage for everyone. And one of the first questions I always like to ask is, how did you get to where you're at today in life? So, let's begin by getting to know you a little bit. Who are you, JR? Where did you grow up? Did you always love basketball? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I am first and foremost a father and a husband. I have three little girls and my wife, Ashley. And other than that, I like to see myself more as somebody that's answering a calling. I want to be a mentor to young men. I want to be a mentor and developer of people, young people that are growing up in society, and help them become leaders.
Was basketball always in your blood? Talk to us about your early life in the basketball world.
Yeah, basketball has been in my life since my dad put the ball in my hands. It's probably 4 or 5 years old. So started as a player, was able to go to Loyola Chicago and play there, and then play professionally after that, and then just wanted to be around the game. And I had a lot of great coaches that served as mentors to me, and that was something that I aspired to be after my playing days were done. So as soon as I finished playing, I was able to go to Division III, and then Division II, and then Division I. So worked my way up in this profession, but more utilized it as an opportunity to help other young people like myself formally grow.
You're a highly sought after coach. I mean, this is your first Division I job, but you are very well known in the basketball world. As you said, you've worked your way up, and that only comes with experience of all kinds, right? As you mentioned, you had the opportunity to see role models in your life, and I'd like to know a little bit more about your life as a player, growing up in high school, in college. What were some of the things that you saw, you did, you experienced at that time, as a young man in the basketball world, that kind of shaped the person that you are now?
Definitely. I think basketball has really helped me grow as a human being, and I think you experience so many different life, people, environments, all those things, and they kind of shape who you are in a generalization point. And for me, it was always the role models that I was around, my coaches, and they told me how I was supposed to act, not only on the court but off the court, and it helped with my demeanor, it helped with my character. And as a head coach now, I think that that's something that I want to give to our young men of win or lose. Obviously, we're trying to have the most success we can, but we want to handle ourselves a certain way. We say how we do anything is how we do everything. And that is bigger than basketball. Again, it's something where, yes, we want to play basketball, we want to win games, but we want to help develop and grow young men. And I was able and lucky and fortunate that I had people that helped me and showed me the way of that in basketball growing up.
What were some of the things that maybe as a player you went through that bring you closer to your players now as a coach?
That's a great question. I wasn't a great player. I played really, really hard. I think I gave tremendous effort and energy, and for my lack of size and athleticism, I was able to outcompete and outwork people, and that's something that I want to continue to do and give forth. Like, we don't have to be the most talented team to win the game. We have to work harder than them. We have to out execute them with discipline, with physicality, and those are things that we can control. So you are what you emphasize, and we want to emphasize being a physical team, being disruptive, doing things like that we can control, and that we're starting in our process here in June already. And that's something that has really helped me because I was able to play that way, so now I'm able to coach that way and give it to our guys who are way more talented than I ever was.
Let me adjust my mic for that because I want to dig deeper into that. So, a lot of times people think that teams, right, are great because they have the star players, right? Just the best players in the game. But what you said is very important. It's not always just like the naturally most skilled player, but it's who is willing to work harder, right? Talk to me about that mentality that you bring to this team, because it's not a surprise to some folks that the basketball team at USD has had some tough seasons in the past, right? You're the 15th head coach here of USD, and you come during a very important time for this program. So tell us more about that mentality that you are going to grind here in this team, and it doesn't matter whether you're the superstar, you have 15 superstars or one superstar. You're going to move together.
I think you hit it right on the head. Our trajectory will always go upward, but it'll go upward with everyone included. And to me, it's a team. We have a thing we call standard of a champion, which we talk about the sacrifices that we'll give as a team in order to get to our common goal, which is to win as many games and ultimately win championships. But in order to do that, it's a process. And we say the process is greater than the outcome, which means, at times there's going to be some adversity. And how do you handle adversity and how do you get through those things is really important. And it's important how you interact and control yourself and your emotions and your composure as you get through those things. And for us, it's just we want to make sure that we are sustained and make sure we're engraved in our daily habits. What we do every single day, we want to stack days. We want to win every day. And we say GBD is just get better daily. And it's a simple mantra, but it's something that we can live by to help accomplish our goals. Because ultimately our habits will become our standards, and then we can form our identity, and then we can establish our culture, and then that ultimately is the wins and losses. But right now we're just at the habits and standards part and getting to that as we work in the summer.
So that brings another great point that I would love to talk to you about. It's like sometimes when you're here, coaches, right? You guys always have the best things to say and the inspirational quotes, but how do you bring them to life? When you say something like you get better daily and we're going to grind and we're going to work together, what does that look like when you actually implement that and go beyond words?
Right, and I think it's more actions. I think when we start a practice, we watch film, we talk about what we're going to emphasize on that specific day. And it may be rebounding, it may be defense, it may be offense, whatever it may be. And ultimately, you're trying to have all of those things become great, but you need to emphasize certain things every day, every week, different things. And now at the end of practice, you can say, did we get better at those things? And I think you can ask them honest questions. And we've had days where, yeah, we have, and we've had days where, hey, we fell short of what our standard needs to be. But then that also allows you to learn too. So you can still get better in those days, watching film, having an individual conversation, so that tomorrow we can make sure we fix those issues and we continue to stack positive days of daily habits. And when we do that, then you can have standards, and then you can say, we've gotten better at this, or we've mastered this, and then you can move on. But you also always have that with you in your pocket as well.
Coach, take us behind the scenes of what a D1 coach for the first time does when they come into a job like this. I'm sure it's a very exciting time for you. Like, how do you even tackle what you're going to do first out of all the things you need to do and all the things you want to do? What was going through your mind? What strategy did you take? How did you start assembling everything from day one?
Yeah, for me, I was trying to mentally prepare for this opportunity, and was blessed with this opportunity to be here. And then you have to establish and formulate a staff right away. And I think that, I know that we have an elite staff. We have guys that I've known for years, that I've trusted, and they have taken such a load off of me in order to allow me to do more things and have that. But they also have a huge, huge responsibility, and they've just totally tackled that task. So when I got here, it was, you hit the ground running with recruiting, but you also want to engage in the community, want to be visible and accessible, and having that staff to be able to handle a lot of the recruiting aspects of it so that I can be more acclimated in the community and people can see me and meet me, I think is really important. And then when you get into now the summer months, it's about your guys, it's about your team, and making them feel like, okay, coach loves us, coach is preaching to us, and coach knows what he wants, and they know what we want, and then they're able to give us that effort back forth.
I get from you the sense of like that old school coach where it's you're more of a father figure, a mentor, a real mentor, right? Not a transactional coach where, one comes, another one comes,
Right.
whatnot, right? That must be really cool for your guys to have that in you and for you to be able to be that person now that you had those people in your life. Now you get to be that for somebody else.
Absolutely. Those were the coaches that stuck with me and that stick in my mind. And I want to make sure that everything we do in our program is relational. This is a transactional landscape of college basketball. A lot of stuff is happening. A lot of financial things go wrong, and we want to make sure that we have a relational program here at USD where, again, love is our number one core principle of what we want to do.
Leading with love.
Yeah, they know that we love them. I told them in the meeting on Friday. I said, I understand it's really hard. I appreciate everything you guys are doing. I love you guys, and I want you to know that. And I want you to know that because we are on you and we're challenging you, you guys know that it's coming from a place in our heart of love. And that's really important to me to know that and say that to them, and that they know that and they reciprocate it back to us as a staff. So it's been a pleasure. It's been everything that I've hoped for and more, and we just want to continue on this journey.
I have so many questions to ask you. So, first of all, going back to assembling the perfect team, tell us a little bit about each member of the team that you brought along, your assistant coaches, and something about each one of them that got them to come here, or
Yeah.
why you chose them, so that people can get to know them as well.
Absolutely. I'll start with Coach Pat Baldwin, who is one of the mentors that I talked about. Coach Baldwin recruited me to Loyola Chicago.
Wow,
So he was
you
in
go
my
way back.
yeah. Coach was in my house talking to myself and my parents when I was 15 years old.
Wow, and now you're on the other
Yeah.
end of things.
So when I got the job, he called and texted me right away and said, "Hey, I want to come with you. I want to help you build it up." And he's somebody that I trust more than anyone in this profession. And he's just a special person to me, and was a father figure like guy to me. And then now we're able to do that together. Coach David Gale is somebody that I played with at Loyola. So again, we're going back 2 decades in our relationship, and we have that bond of being able to play with one another. And then he's also been a head coach like Coach Baldwin. So they are able to come and help me in situations where, hey, we used to do this, or hey, I did this, and we're able to accept and take those, and it really helps me, and I allow those guys a lot of autonomy to coach and teach to our guys. Coach Jeremy Pope is somebody who's from Southern California. Again, we go back probably 8 or 10 years of building relationships and having conversations, and knowing that he can bring in, again, somebody who's familiar with the area, but also his recruiting prowess. He's a relationship guy, a guy that develops relationships very well with players and does a great job on the court. Coach Hanak Bien and I worked together at Iowa State, 4 years ago. So again, somebody that I'm comfortable with because I've seen him, I've watched him do it, I've watched him work. And again, he's a guy that loves to be on the court, is very intentional with everything that he does. Coach Josh Calbert, who was our recruiting coordinator, is somebody who probably within the last 4 or 5 years I've gotten to know, really helped develop. He does a great job with relationships, a great communicator, somebody who's very organized. So he organizes all our recruiting and, basically tells me, hey, like, you need to go here, you need to see this guy, this is the flight you need to be on, all those
So if
types
you
of
want to be
things.
on the team, that's the man
Yeah,
to talk to.
there we go. That's the guy. And then Jawan Newton was somebody who is our director of player development. Jawan and I worked together for the last 2 years at Iowa State. So again, we've had that relationship. We built it up. And he's just somebody that is a young guy who's really up and coming in this profession. Jackson Carter is somebody who was at Iowa State as well for the last 4 years. He was our lead manager, and then now is our director of basketball operations. But Jackson knows exactly what the day-to-day routine of it looks like. He knows what my preferences are. We worked very closely together at staff at Iowa State, so then he's able to come here and able to make this process seamless. Patrick Gallagher was at USD for the last 6 years, and he's a lone holdover, but he's been absolutely
He's the
exceptional.
anchor here.
Yeah, he's been exceptional. I mean, he knows the ins and outs of this university, and especially when we first started, like we wouldn't have been able to do it without PG. Like he was great. He was there and helped lead a lot of the stuff, and where should we eat and take recruits here
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. It was really good. And then Elson Jones is a GA for us. Was at USC last year, a former player. And somebody that can provide a body in practice. He's 6'10", so he
Hey.
gives our guys a
Or
great
for
look.
their money,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's our staff, and I think it's an elite staff of great high character men, and we're blessed to have them here.
And what a blessing to be able to assemble that kind of team. These are all people, for the most part, that have been on your team one way or another. And by that, I mean not just being in your team, but they've been rooting for you over the years, right? And to be able to now have them believe so much in you that they want to ensure that you have this success that you need for this team, right?
Yeah, for sure. They're all guys that I trust. And like you said, there's a relationship there that's been built over time with a lot of these guys that we know what we want. We know we have to come together. They're high character people, people that you can put with somebody's son and say, hey, like they're going to be taken care of and treated with respect and love, and teach them the values of not only basketball but in life.
That's fantastic. Now, I don't pretend to be a basketball connoisseur, but here we're here to talk to the human, behind the title. And I just really want to know what your strategy is for the upcoming season. I do know one thing about you is that you have the defense locked down, is what I've always heard about you. So, what is going to be your strategy coming in? We heard about the coaches that you brought alongside you. What was your strategy for the players that are now part of the team? Maybe you want to talk to me a little bit
Yeah.
about that.
No, absolutely. Every guy that we recruited, the first thing we told them before they committed to us was, this is going to be hard. This is going to be a challenge. This is not going to be your normal college situation where you come in, you have practice, you maybe shoot around a little bit afterwards, then you're done. Like, this is a full day. We practice every morning at 6:30, and you have individual work, and you have film work, and you have weight work, and then we meet as a team at the end. And how we want to play is all about disruption. So everything we do in practice is physical, it's intense, it's hard, it's fast paced, it's a little bit chaotic on purpose, because we want to create some adversity in the summertime of, hey, this is what it's going to be. This is harder than the game. So if you said how we want to play, what style are we going to bring, I would say we want to dictate and disrupt on the defensive end. We want to be as disruptive as possible to the offense. And then offensively, in exchange for that, we want to play with spacing and we want to share the basketball. And I think if we're unselfish on that end and we space the floor the right way, we'll have great offense. And then defensively will be our main calling card of how disruptive and how can we dictate what we want to do to the offense on the other end.
And you come from having a great run with Iowa State. You've been on the national spotlight with the teams that you've been involved with for a while now. So you come with a great wealth of knowledge and being able to function in that pressure, right? And that speed of play. So I'm sure you're going to bring that along to this team. And I can only imagine that the players that are now in your team, which we can talk about right now, understand that they're going to be playing at a whole nother level, right?
Yeah, no, it's they understand it, and at the same breath, they want to make sure that we're USD, so I don't want them having to think, hey, we have to be Iowa State or we have to
Correct.
be this. Like, we're going to be USD. We're going to do it our way, and there will be a lot of similarities, but I think there'll be some differences as well. And these guys have adjusted to everything that we've asked them to do. They're 100% compliant, and the effort that they put forth is at a high level. So it's been an exciting time to just get to know them and their games. You see a lot on film, but you have to witness it in person.
Right.
Like, some guys will do some things better than you think. Some guys won't do. It's like, oh, okay, he functions better in this situation than that one. And I think that's our job as coaches once we get them here, is to see what they do well and put them in positions to be successful, not automatically determine it. Like, you have to adjust to your personnel, and that's our job as coaches, to make sure we put them in those positions.
And we say that this is a new era for the program, and it may sound as cliche, but it really is. It's a new time for you, for the players, for the school, for the fans. Very exciting time for those who are in the world of basketball and want to play for USD one day. What is it that Coach JR Blount looks for in a player? When you sit down and you tell them expectations and you have your dream player and you're looking at thousands of, tapes, and what are you looking for? What are your non-negotiables? What makes a USD player in your team?
Yeah, I first and foremost we want to look at their character before we even get to the basketball piece. We want to make sure we're bringing in high character young men. You bring people into a locker room that already has guys that are established, and one bad apple can mess up the whole room. So we want to make sure they're high character individuals on the basketball court. I just want to make sure they're hardworking. I want to make sure that they're diligent in their routine. They are somebody that is willing to go the extra mile and take the extra step on the basketball court to get better. You don't have to be a perfect player. You don't have to do something at a exceptional level. Like, I just want guys that want to get better, that are trying to master the game and have a mindset that's saying, as long as you want me to get better every day, coach, I'm willing to do it. And I think we found those guys, and we'll continue to find them. And it's not always the most talented guy. It's more the mentality that they have of, I'm ready to get better. I'm ready to jump into this full head of steam. And you coach me, and I'll take it, and I'll continue to show you that I want to be here.
In the ever-changing world of the NCAA Division One sports, how difficult or easy was it for you to recruit the players that you have now? Tell us a little bit about the team you have assembled, and did it help you that you came from Iowa State and having that fantastic run?
Yeah, I wouldn't say difficult. People said, "Is it difficult? Do you feel pressure?" Like, I don't feel those things. It's just it's relationship based. We started with Braylon Roman, who's a point guard for us. He was a junior college All-American, and everything we talked about was, we want to have a great relationship. We want to build you up. We want to make you better, not the financial piece, which is a piece for all of these guys. I'm a strong believer of one transactional conversation. We'll talk about it, and then everything else will be relational. And it was that way for Braylon. Then we brought in Dusty Stromer, who's been at Gonzaga, high-level recruit from LA right here in Sherman Oaks, and somebody who really, the relationship, the talk was all about, let's build your confidence back up. Let's get you playing to the level that you were in high school. Let's do those things and master that, as opposed to any transactional conversation. And I think Dusty really liked that. He appreciated that it was like somebody looking at him for him, as opposed to just the basketball piece.
Right.
Like, this is more than basketball. This is something that we want to make so that your life is better and you're set for that afterwards. We had Sekou Kona, is a big kid. He's from Milwaukee. I've known him since he was 14, 15 years old. He visited Iowa State. And, when he got in the transfer portal, we obviously had a relationship. He's from where I'm from. And, again, somebody was just like, cool, do you want to get better? Are you trying to work hard? Like, are you trying to do the things the extra things, not just do the normal things, but are you trying to do the extra things? Do you want to work out at 6 a.m. before practice? Do you want to work out at 12 after practice? Like, do you want to do extra on top of, we're gonna make sure we dig into you as a student athlete, make sure you're on top of your academics, like, and we're gonna hold you accountable to every single standard of, if practice, if study hall, whatever time it is, you're 10 minutes early.
Right.
Like, and those are different for some guys from where they've come from and how
Correct.
they've been brought up. And to us as a staff, that's really important, that we emphasize the little things, do the little things, because we say everything matters. Every single detail matters in how you can be successful and how you can achieve excellence.
Well, that's fantastic. And I'm sure, as you said, a lot of the players appreciate that, right? Because in a world of, name, image, and likeness, and all these things. Something that came to mind as you were talking is a video I saw of yours talking to your team, where you mentioned to them how lucky they are also to be here, because it does go both ways, right? Some schools are lucky to have players, and players are also lucky to be at some institutions like the University of San Diego, for example,
Right.
or any institution for
Right.
that matter, right? To be playing at that level at any Division One school is a blessing. They have worked hard, but it's also a blessing because the competition is hard, right?
Absolutely. I think back to where I'm from in Milwaukee and how many young men would love to be in the position that these guys are in right now at USD. And they have done a great job. They've worked really hard to get to where they're getting to. But there's also good players that are out there that would love to say, man, I could play this, I could do that, I would love to be here. And I think that's really important that you have the gratitude and the appreciation of getting an education, man, obviously playing basketball, but on top of that, being a student athlete, getting this education that is high level here at University of San Diego. And then on top of that, having the opportunity to play basketball. And for what we want to do as a staff is continue to formulate the positive values, continue to make these guys potentially be successful leaders in society and have the education to back it as well.
Because we've talked about that at length with our athletic director, Kimia Massey, about the importance of not only having athletes here, but people who are going to go into the world and be your real estate person, your attorney, your doctor,
Right.
your, whatever, your nonprofit, director, your CEO of some company. These are people that are actually going to hopefully be of substance in society. And speaking of, you mentioned earlier the importance of relationships and the work that you have done since you've been here at building that relationship with our community. You have been everywhere.
I'm trying.
Talk to us about that. And it's not just because they call you up to be in these places. You genuinely are everywhere and curious about your surroundings and getting to know people. Why is that so important to you? And how do you think that is going to set an example for your team?
Yeah, I want to be visible and accessible, and I think that's really important here, especially at USD, where basketball can be seen as sort of the front porch of the university. That's where people can start to see us and start to get to know not only myself, but our staff and our guys. And in order to do that, I have to immerse myself in the community. Like, I have to be visible. I have to be accessible so that people can say, oh, I know Coach, or hey, I met Coach the other day, or hey, this is Braylon Roman, and I happened to see him in the grocery store, and he was great. This is Dusty Stromer, and I dropped my book bag, and he helped me pick it up. Those type of things are small things, but again, there's so many little details that can help us have success that have nothing to do with putting the ball in the basket. And for me and for us and our staff, we know that those things are in the community, on campus, engagement with other people, because we are just humans that happen to be a part of the basketball team. And we want to make sure that we're seen first and foremost as members of society and the USD campus society, and that we want to integrate ourselves within everything and be a part of it. And if I have to go do some things at wherever, I'm happy to do that. This is an opportunity for me that I'll never take for granted. And I have tremendous gratitude to be able to do those things.
And not only that, I think it really embeds a sense of pride in your own athletes to be out and about too, right? A lot of them maybe are not from San Diego.
Right.
So being out in the community in service to others, getting to know other people will also, I would hope and think, make them want to play harder out there for the city that they get to live in and they represent while the time that they're here at USD.
No, you want to have pride for your university. You want to have pride for everything that you're about. And if you're putting on a jersey that says University of San Diego, then you represent the whole San Diego community and everything. And, you also play in the West Coast Conference, so you want to represent all of that as well. And I think, like you said, I totally agree with that, because you go out and you represent the front of your jersey. And it's not necessarily what's on the back. This is the University of San Diego, and we want to be a great representation of that for our program, but also for the entire university, so that people can say, yes, we know them, we relate to them, they're great, and we want to come support them. And then when they come see the product, then it's like, wow, these guys really play hard, and they have pride in the university, and that's why they're playing that way.
And they're of high character and
right.
likable and funny
Everything.
and work hard. Speaking of representation, we are representing as a fabulous program here with that multi-million dollar facility, state-of-the-art facility here at the University of San Diego that was built recently. Talk to us about being able to train, work, and be together in a facility like that, and how that takes your game to the next level as well.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's just a blessing to have that, and it's with ultimate gratitude. I said that to our guys in our first team meeting. Like we're sitting in a film room that's state of the art.
Let me
We have
tell
a
you.
weight room, and
Google it at home if you haven't
yeah,
seen it.
you have to.
Find out
It's
pictures.
beautiful, and it's just you have everything you need in one place. And our offices, but then our practice facility, or practice courts, or coaches have their own locker room. Our guys have their own locker room, and it's something that you don't necessarily see at this level, and even at some of the higher levels that I've been to, this is better. So it is something that our guys necessarily don't ever want to take for granted. I think you get into a routine of like, yeah, this is where we practice, where we play, and then you have to take a step back and say, wow, like this is something that's amazing, and this is something that we want to have, to make sure we utilize that to be able to put a product on the floor that
Right.
can help us all and help not only us but the university in general.
And it represents a real tangible investment in this program.
It does. I think when Kimya first contacted me, and you start doing the research, and then you look at the infrastructure that they built here in the BPC of the last year and a half, like you're like, wow, this is serious. They are serious and have passion about winning basketball and having a culture of winning, of excellence. When you look at that and something like that, that's not happening at a lot of universities.
So let me ask you this. I know firsthand that President Harris, and he has said publicly, said that yours has been one of the most impressive interviews that he has done in his career. And President Harris has done so many interviews. So we know why they chose you, JR. You are definitely very talented. You're a humble person. You come from a Catholic education. You're very committed. You're going to roll your sleeves up, and you're just an amazing individual. And we've heard that from Kimia, President Harris, and others who know you. Why did you choose USD?
First of all, thank you for that. I appreciate that. When I met with President Harris and Kimya for my interview process, I immediately saw the alignment within our values, within how we spoke about winning, the passion that they had, and that aligned with me. Like you said, I came from a Catholic education, so that piece was important. The academic piece was also important. It's the reason why I chose to go to Loyola Chicago. I was also at Drake University, and it just was all an alignment that came to fruition. Like obviously, I'm in this for basketball, so that piece almost kind of comes naturally, where it's like, yeah, they're going to have a great basketball presentation, but it was more the alignment to be within the community, the alignment to have something and have the resources and infrastructure to say, we have this in place, we just need the right person to take it forward. And I thought that President Harris and Kimya just had this internal passion of, hey, we're going to get this done, and we would like for you to do it. And I felt it right away. When I left the interview, I said, I think that this is the right place for me, and I was just lucky that they chose me.
Well, I'm very excited to see what happens to you or with you this season and your team. What can the fans expect? Again, you are full of passion, and President Harris is one of the best people I've ever met. People who listen to this podcast often, I sing his praises all the time. I also love Kimia. I think he's a wonderful human being, and so are you. So I think all the stars are aligning to have such a phenomenal program, and I'm very excited. So what do you want to tell the fans?
Yeah, we're going to play hard. We're going to play really, really hard. We're going to put a product out there that will implement and exemplify winning. And I don't mean that in the sense of we're going to win every single game, but we're going to do the right things every single time. And we're going to be the team that's diving on the floor for the loose ball. We're going to be the hardest playing team that's out there on the court that night. And that's all I want to ask. And that's all I'll ask of these guys as we put forth the effort that we are displaying here in practice and putting in work after work after work. And it'll be a team that is based on our daily habits, and our habits will turn into our standards. Our standards will then define our identity, and then our identity will formulate our culture. and then our culture will ultimately decide wins and losses. And there's going to be adversity in the season, and we're going to be the team that responds to adversity the right way. And that's a product that we'll put on the floor, and you'll be able to see that in how they play and how hard they play. What our execution is like on both ends of the floor will be, a symbol of all of that.
As you say, GBD, right? Get better daily.
Absolutely. GBD. So it's a simple thing. We want to stack wins with day after day. So we stack a win on Monday. We just got to stack another one on Tuesday and go forth.
Coach, anything else that I haven't asked you that you would like to share with us in this podcast?
I just really want to say I appreciate everyone in the community, in the USD community, campus. Everyone has been great. It's been an exceptional welcome. It has gone by really fast, but now I feel like a true member of the community and of the campus, and I can't wait for our guys to be able to see everybody when they get here on campus and meet everybody, and for us to be out there and be accessible so that we can integrate within the community and then have a big thing when we come to JCP and have our games be packed and full there.
So get your tickets now if you haven't, because it's going to be an electrifying season. I know that for a fact. Last, what do you enjoy the most of living in San Diego now? Not a bad place to land.
Not a bad place to live. I have to say the weather. The weather is awesome. I every morning I wake up and I'm like, wow, it's
at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, 4:30. But it's already at 4:30. It's already 60
Right.
degrees. And it's just been great for my family. Like, my kids love to go into the beach, and they take the dog to the dog beach and all that stuff.
60
And,
degrees is like winter for us.
oh,
We're-
60 degrees in the Midwest. You could be pushing that in August. So it's like, we're just absolutely fortunate to be here, and everything's been great, and everyone's been so nice and caring and helping us adjust to it. So it's kind of been a little bit of everything that's been great.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your time. I know you're busy. You got to run to something else, but I really appreciate you taking us back, pulling the curtain back, and letting us see how you've assembled your team, what we can look forward to. And we hope that all of you can join us during the basketball season and come watch history in the making here at the University of San Diego. We're going to be very excited to see what happens and to follow you in your journey and the team. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate your time.
And if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe so you can catch the next one.